Hello, everyone. My name is Chang Liu. You can call me Francis. I come from Hubei province, China. I have 10 years of English teaching experience back in China before coming to New Zealand. I have worked as a translator and interpreter for 5.5 years. After I obtained my master's degree of translation interpreting in China. The reason why I chose to study TBLT is that compared with traditional teaching methods in China, TBLT is a learner-centered and communicative approach, which proved to be a more effective teaching methodology to engage students in the classroom tasks. And it leads to active second language acquisition. So I hope to embed what I've learned from TBLT course into my teaching practice, no matter where I will develop my teaching career in the future. So from this course, I have learned a lot of the rationales, and I have identified several key advantages. TBLT is an effective approach to language learning, emphasizing communication and real-world application. So it focuses on enhancing communicative competence. And the tasks can be easily related to students' real-life world. So it's mirror their authentic scenario and language use. So it has a lot of real-life relevance. During the task performance, students are encouraged to provide more output, and teacher will not directly give the feedback or correct their errors immediately. So it will foster learner motivation. And besides, its TBLT teaching and learning also will help learners to take the ownership of their own learning. They can track their learning progress by their task performance. Different types of tasks can encourage the collaboration among groups or between pairs. And the tasks are very interactive. So this also helps interactive learning develop in this teaching scenario. TBLA is developed to fill the gap of an appropriate assessment that measures what language learners can do in the target language. So TBLT has the very appropriate assessment. That is TBLA. It distinguishes from other modes of assessment is that the performance is in the construct of assessments in TBLA. However, there are disadvantages of TBLT. So we will question about the effectiveness of TBLT, because language learners may not be exposed to all the most frequent and useful language components they might need. Then second is, as for the operationalization of TBLT, low-level language learners are not equipped with adequate linguistic tools to maintain the interaction. And also, the task complexity, sequencing, and effective factor will impact second language task performance, such as fluency and accuracy. And we can also see some constraints like time constraints, because usually TBLT requires more class time to complete tasks. This could be a problem with limited class hours of prescribed curriculum in some institution. And we can also find that individual students have differentiated learning needs. TBLT may not adequately meet diverse learning needs of all students. In addition to those, there is also assessment challenge. So assessing student task performance within TBLT can be subjective and time-consuming. And the last one is teacher training, which is a prerequisite for a successful TBLT teaching. So it requires specialized training for effective implementation, which will pose challenges for inexperienced teachers. Now I will introduce my task. In this task, students will take on the roles of department staff in a joint venture company where their department head, a Japanese expatriate, is set to return to Japan as his employment contract expires in a month. Students will be presented with pictures, including 5 images of different objects. After reviewing the basic information of those items, the students will discuss in groups which object would make the best farewell gift for their leader within a budget of $200. After reaching an agreement, after discussion, a representative of each group needs to present their decision with appropriate explanation. A class vote determines the best farewell gift following the presentations. And those are the pictures that I provide with students. There are Chinese writing brush and Chinese tea set, Chinese tea, and silk scarf, and Chinese landscape painting, and personalized photo album. I will provide some promotes to remind students that when they consider which object to be the best farewell gift, they will consider the size, the fit size for travel baggage, and for also they will consider the budget. They will maybe also take into account that the cultural difference and the leader's preference. The task I design meets fully the criteria of task definition against any frameworks, because during the discussion, the students are negotiating the meaning of what they understand about the objects, and they will exchange their opinions. And also when they look at those pictures with the profile information, they are digesting, they are processing the words. This is also about the meaning. And second is about there is a gap, because different students will have different opinions on choosing the best farewell gift. They will have different considerations. So that's the gap exists. And third is it largely relies on learners' own resources. Yes, they will not be taught some knowledge prior to the task. They can employ their own language knowledge to fully express themselves. And the last one is the outcome beyond the language itself. Yes, this outcome is very specific. This task ultimate outcome is to select the most ideal and appropriate farewell gift, and the vote will determine the final choice. So this task focuses on the specific tangible outcome rather than how the students use their languages. So my task fulfill all the 4 criteria of the frameworks.